Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back. Welcome to Most Excellent Entertainment. I'm your host, Keith, and with me today, this week, is a multi-instrumentalist. He's in multiple bands. He's touring all over the country, the world. He's, uh, just a fantastic musician, pianist, guitar player, bass player, composer. And man, I meant to ask you this before we came on the air and I forgot. So since I don't screw it up, introduce yourself and say your last name correctly.
Hey, this is Jake Curtis Allard of Pretty Boy Floyd, Midnight Maniac, and Christian Shields.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So we talked about this for a little bit right before we came on. This is actually something that I like to do with every show. If I have any kind of a background with the guest, I sort of want to talk about it. So I had gotten Christian Shields CD when it first came out because a friend of mine was helping him do promo work on the internet, and I bought it. I did not get it for free, and and then you guys actually with the Christian Shields band came to Hamilton, Ohio, Harrison, Ohio, which is not really that far from me. So we drove out there for the Summer of '89 tour with Pretty Boy Floyd, Enough Snuff, and Trickster. And I actually got to meet you and meet everybody in the band. You guys were super cool. One of the things that I really noticed is how well you handled the harmonies live. Because I know on the record it's Christian and it's stacked vocals, a little bit of Marshall, I think, but mostly Christian. Um, and they said that when they brought you into the band, it was really, really important that they got somebody who could sing. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to talk about that. Like, how hard is it to pull off those harmonies live? I mean, you obviously have a great voice. So if you could just talk about
Yeah,
that dynamic a little bit, you're welcome. And yeah,
absolutely. So I've always been able to hear harmonies in my head very well. Um, I could, with just the lead vocal alone, I can pick it out like nothing, which is fine. But keeping your voice in good condition and hitting the notes, like you were saying, it's a little, it can be tough at times. But that was the main reason why I got hired into the band. It was their bassist before me, who only did a handful of shows. He
mhm,
wasn't able to continue being in Christian Shields. And I had recently met Marshall and Christian, and they were thinking who could fill in for this guy. And they knew me a little bit. They knew I could play guitar, but what really sold them is that they saw a video of me singing, and they
yeah,
thought, oh, well, this would be perfect. We need someone who can do the live harmonies. Like you were saying, it really fills out the song a lot more. And I guess I was just the obvious go-to choice.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, it. You guys sounded great live, man. There's great energy, and I know that it was towards the end of the tour. So, how did you keep that going? Like for that, because that was a pretty long tour, right?
Yeah, it was tough, and I was actually quite a bit worn out by that point and a little bit sick.
Mm,
I'm sure you recall by the time we got off stage and we hung out, you and I
yeah,
was pretty hoarse. It was a little tough to talk and everything, but
yeah.
I just I mean, when you're on stage, you got to give it all you got, even if it hurts, even if you're sick or whatever, because you're not going to get that moment back.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Um, and then one of the cooler things that they did at the end was the big jam session, man. Like
Love that.
that was awesome, dude. Like you guys going out there and rocking out to some classic songs, man. Not a lot of bands do that anymore. So,
Yeah,
what was
that
that?
was
What was that
that
like to
was
just have
cool.
like 30 people on the stage, you know? And just,
It was cool.
yeah,
That night, luckily, the venue could accommodate it. We were all plugged in, but I remember there was a few nights on the tour where they would just pretend to plug in either me or PJ or who, because they don't have
yeah,
they don't have
yeah.
30 channels, 40
Right,
channels on
right,
their.
right, right.
But Blue Note, they're a great venue. They've got more than enough.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it wasn't miming that night. That night it was totally four bands worth of guys up there jamming out to what was it? It was a Kiss
AC/DC.
song, right?
Yeah, well, you guys did Dirty Deeds
Oh, Dirty Deeds.
with Chip on lead vocals.
That's
which was
right.
really
I
cool.
remember
Yeah,
now. Yeah,
yeah, and
that
I
was a
think
good time.
Christian took some lead on that too, which was cool.
Oh yeah, a little swapping here and
Yeah,
there kind of
that's
thing.
good
Good
times, man.
stuff.
You could tell that you guys were all plugged in because it was loud as hell, man.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it was awesome. Um, so yeah, let's back up a little bit now because obviously this is like this was about a year or so ago, so this is more modern context. But like I said at the beginning, you play a lot of different instruments and wear a lot of different hats. Like you compose classical music or at least music in a classical vein. Like how did you how did this whole thing get started? Like when did you gravitate towards music and when did you know this is what you were gonna do?
I've always really enjoyed music, and I guess to some extent, I've had an ear for music for a very long time. I credit my parents with, as I was growing up, playing for me some of the music that I gravitated towards now. And but the turning point was because, I mean, I'll be totally honest, when I was in elementary school, middle school, and I joined the little school bands and played clarinet or whatever, I
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention. I didn't.
Right.
I was there to just kind of screw off a little bit and waste some time, and
Yeah.
I didn't learn a single thing. I had video games on my mind and other stuff. But then, right out of high school, maybe first or second year into college, one of my closest friends, his name is Austin Clarizio. He has a band called Stardog, based out of Amsterdam. Uh, he is from the U.S. originally. We grew up together. He was producing some. It was like a mix of indie and electronic music, and he said, "Hey, I could really use a guitar solo on here." And he's a good guitarist, but he wasn't into rock. And I gave him some pointers and I said, "Here, give me that for a sec." And I just tried to improvise some I mean, we're going way back here, but
Yeah,
I tried
sure.
to improvise something on an instrument that I didn't play.
Oh, nice.
And and he and he told me, he's like, that took you a little while to get it, but I see what you're going for. I think you have a good ear for music. Why don't you pick up guitar?" And I'm like, I don't know about that. I love listening to Scorpions and Dokken and all that fun stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't really think music's for me. And he's like, "No, you seem creative. Give it a try." So if it wasn't for if it wasn't for him pushing me to go and just
Yeah.
buy a beater guitar at a pawn shop, which I remember what it was. It was a total rip off of a Dean because it had the Dean logo, but it was
Yeah.
this weird wooden body that they'd never sold in their life. But that was that was my first guitar ever. I wish I still
Awesome.
had it. I tore the thing apart and sold it for scraps, but
Oh man.
man. But if it wasn't for him, I guess, to come all the way around, I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't have started playing guitar. I wouldn't have turned it into a hobby.
Right.
I wouldn't have then begrudgingly turned it into a career, which I'm now happy that I turned it into a career
Yeah.
because I used to do something 180 degrees different before.
Right.
Um, so I really have him to thank slash blame for where I am now.
Man, that's that's awesome, man. Like, that's honestly the first time I've heard a story like that. All the creatives who I've had on the show, it's like when I was a child, I had been working
Oh
towards this
yeah.
my whole life. Like coming into it after college or during college is a different story, man. But you definitely,
So odd.
yeah, yeah,
My bandmate Dietrich Thrall in Pretty Boy Floyd,
yeah,
we were at a hotel one time just talking about it, and he said the same thing. He turned to me after I said it. He's like, "Are you kidding me?
yeah,
I've never once heard of a guy who picked it up in his college years
right.
at this doing it as a career.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
in my.
yeah,
But you know what? I'm I guess for good and for bad, I'm a very stubborn person.
yeah,
And when I decide I want to try something and I want to do something and I really love it and it
yeah.
just kind of really just hits right here, I don't stop. I just keep doing it and I do what I can to make it work. And A lot of it's circumstance too. I mean, another person to thank, of course, is he's right on your shirt, Christian Shields.
Yeah, man.
He's there isn't a chance in hell I'd be here right now if it wasn't for him. He really helped me break through to the professional level.
Right on, man. Um, so after college, did you just study and practice and work on the guitar and other instruments, or did you join some bands? Like, what was the progression after that?
I went to a couple little open jams here and there. I was in a totally different field. I'll touch on that in a sec, but
Sure.
like maybe a couple years after that, I saw that so quick aside, my
Yeah.
personal hero and the reason I love guitar and, most unique player I think I've ever heard in my life is George Lynch.
Oh,
As
sure.
a lot of people can agree. I'm not sure if you totally agree, but for
I
me,
love George Lynch.
oh,
Yeah.
he's awesome. And he just really struck home for me. And I
Yeah.
saw that his wife puts on a charity event every year to raise money for the homeless around Christmas time. And they were doing a jam session over at the Canyon Club in what is it, Santa Clarita. There's like five locations. That one's closed. It's totally gone now. But I saw an ad for that, and I'm like, I'll go up. Why not? Came up there. I didn't bring my guitar, so I had to borrow one, but I got to kind of jam around with some other local musicians. I very briefly got to meet my hero,
Yeah.
and it was a really cool moment. But and no, at that time, music was just a hobby of mine.
Right.
I was working for a company that built testing equipment for aerospace and defense corporations,
Holy
and
crap.
so
Okay.
engineering was my
Yeah.
route in life, and I thought that I was going to be totally math, science, machining, stuff like that. But
Right.
uh, yeah, then one thing led to another. My family said they were leaving the state. I followed them to Texas. I met Christian Shields, and he convinced me to join a band, which is something I said I'd never do. But I'm so glad that I did.
Wow. So this is all like relatively new. I mean, you've
Yeah.
had pretty. I mean, you're pretty freaking successful. Like that's crazy, man. Um,
I'm so grateful for
yeah.
everything. It was just the right circumstances. Plus, of course, I don't like to talk myself up in
Yeah.
anything, but I think I'm a very self-aware person. So I think that's part of the reason why I was able to quickly progress
Yeah.
in this field. If I'm playing something and it sounds like junk, then I'm going to know it does and I'm going to correct myself. And I think that's been a huge factor, sort of my personality, my mindset, combined with just so happens to meet the right people.
Right. Right. So, do you think like the engineer and the math sort of way of thinking? Do you think that influences how you approach music?
That's so funny because there's been a couple of people who have said that, and I
Yeah.
didn't think about that before because I always thought, oh, creative and science, they're two totally. But who knows? I mean, maybe the reason I was drawn to it is just because I'm a naturally curious and intuitive person.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, I sound like I'm talking myself up, but no, it's just in my nature. I've always just been genuinely curious about how things work,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've always been a pretty creative person, at least according to all of my teachers and family members growing up. So
Right. Right.
I think it was a good fit. I wouldn't terribly mind if I'd gone that route and I stayed
Mhm.
with engineering, but I'm so much more thankful that I fell into this route of entertainment instead.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. So you you play guitar, and you also play bass and piano. Uh, how did the like once you got guitar, like did you learn those instruments? Like did it coincide, or did you go from one to the other? Like what made you decide to pick up some other instruments? Um, Was it
Yeah.
just curiosity or necessity or?
Bit so before Christian, I didn't play bass, but he's the one that convinced me to learn it, to
Okay.
join his band. Because in his mind, he thought, hey, the most important thing is this guy can sing and do harmonies and everything. Can you buy a bass? Can you learn the bass? And I did.
Yeah.
And it came relatively easy on the technical side of it, just because it is a form of guitar. It's in the same
Yeah.
kind of, it's like the top four strings, but a couple octaves lower.
Right.
So that wasn't too hard. The shift in mindset was just kind of locking in more with the drummer rather than with the rhythm guitarist. But
Mhm. Yeah.
when it comes to piano, uh, I always had little electronic keyboards and whatnot just as a for a fun thing
Yeah.
in my home, in my living room and whatever. And it yeah, it was just something fun I like to mess around with, and but I didn't really take it seriously, start learning it until after picking up guitar, after picking up bass. And I
Okay.
thought, when it comes to music, it's great in rock. I mean, synthesizers, you think pop era Van Halen and all that kind of stuff. It's super cool, but I also really like classical style music too. And I just
Sure.
thought, I'd really love to learn how to play some of my favorite pieces, the ones that I play when I'm driving, the ones that I play when I'm getting to sleep. And it just went from there. And then I thought, I'd like to compose something of my own. And I really enjoyed it. And I mean, that's something that even if I never make another dime from that in my life, I'll still do it. I love it so
That's
much.
awesome, man. Yeah. So, and speaking of piano and keyboards and whatnot, let's talk about Marshall a little bit because, first of all, awesome guy, man.
Oh my
I've
God.
had him on the show and we've talked a little bit on Facebook and things like that. Just a great dude, um, and a great guitar player. And you guys, I mean, his feel is incredible. Like a guy, talk about a guy who knows where to put the notes in a song. Like you just, but but you guys kind of came together and did this duo, Midnight Maniac. And it's so cool. Like it's got definitely some 80s hard rock, but then there's also elements of like new wave and stuff with the because you do play some synths in there and things like that. And the
Oh,
vocals,
yeah.
man, which one of you guys is singing, or is it both of you? Because the vocals are amazing.
That's
Um,
me.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They sound so good, man.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
you're welcome. But how did all that come together? Like, and is my description doesn't do it justice. Like, how do you describe the duo? Like,
I guess I'll start with how we started. I mean,
yeah.
uh, from the first time I met Marshall, before I was even in Christian Shields, it was at a Christian Shields show. It was at the second one that I saw. And he and I, right off the bat, totally just hit it off. Super friendly, just gelled totally. And most rare of all, he appreciated my sense of humor, which is very, I'd say, abstract. I'm sure a lot of
Sure.
people would say that about, but it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, this guy's on my wavelength entirely.
Yeah.
So we got along great. We're playing shows together. We're going on these little tours and everything. And I showed him some of my demos of just my own personal stuff. And I'm not a producer by any
Right.
means. I mean, I love writing music, but I cannot get it to sound the way I want. And so he heard it and he saw that even the demo, a lot of people were receiving well to it. And he's like, could I help you reproduce this one song? It was Heard It in a Nightmare.
Yeah.
And I did, and I went there and we, worked it out together. I I did most of that song instrumentally. I did the guitars and the keyboards and whatnot. Um, the vocals. He did the bass. He did the production.
Right.
And at that time, it was just most comparable to like, producer level, not a band.
Mhm.
But he really liked it. And I didn't put it out yet. I was saving it. And he and I, because we became really good friends, we took a little vacation together out to, I think it was somewhere around Phoenix, Arizona. And we got to talking, and he said, hey, what if we started a band together? What if we started something of our own together? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was the most comfortable process ever. You're a really creative guy. I like the way you think. I like how you're open to any idea and you don't have this rigid structure in your mind. And we just totally gelled with each other. So uh, I came up with the name Midnight Maniac. He liked it.
Yeah.
I came up with it because I always thought it would be a cool band name, even though I originally heard it in a Crocus song
Nice.
a long
Nice.
time ago. Uh, but that's totally besides the point.
Yeah.
We got back. We kept writing together, recording together, did the other songs, and it's just been the easiest, most comfortable process ever. I mean, as a guitarist, I gotta say, honestly, he blows me away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like totally out of the water. I mean, what, I've been playing live for 4 or 5 years or
Yeah.
whatever. This guy's been playing live since
Like birth.
he was like a teenager. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got decades on me.
Yeah.
Uh, but not only the proficiency, I mean, the way he thinks outside of the
Mhm.
box and creatively, uh, I couldn't get that with anyone else, but I'm blessed and I'm lucky enough that I have it in someone who's also a friend of mine too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
For
so
sure.
it was just the perfect combo, I think. And I would urge anyone who's been watching this interview so far to please go check out Midnight Maniac. I
Yeah.
think you'll find, not only it appeals to your taste if you like rock, but I think you'll also find that it's refreshingly different in a
Yeah.
very slight way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and just to, so when I met the band, Marshall really made me feel comfortable. Like I've met a lot of musicians and whatever, but him and I talked for a really, really long time about like his guitar heroes and like how he approaches music. And it was just so cool to just have somebody give me that much time, as a fan, just to just to hang out and talk. So he's yeah, great dude, man.
Right.
So really
And
cool.
and that's true. I mean, you even knew about him before I did because you were on the ground floor with Christian Shields and the
Yeah.
and the album coming out. So, I mean, that's really incredible. You even have an older connection to him than I do.
I mean, somewhat, not like, not
Not
a
by a
personal
lot,
one, but
but
an older one. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. So, I mean, that's really awesome.
Yeah. So, the Pretty Boy Floyd, did that come about through the tour? Like, how did you end up going and playing guitar for them? And then, kind of as a secondary question, it seems like everybody in Christian Shields does a lot of stuff. How do you guys how do you guys find the time to come back together as a band? And is Christian Shields like the primary focus, or is it kind of divided? Like, how does that work for you?
It's totally a main focus,
Yeah.
especially because of all the incredible things Christian has pulled off lately and what we have coming up.
Yeah.
You know, uh, he hasn't talked about it too much, but we do have a UK and Europe tour coming up in September.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure that was on your roster of
Yeah.
things to talk about. So
Yeah.
we'll circle around back to that. But you know, I love the band. I love everything we've done together, the touring, the music videos, uh, writing some music together, even though Christian takes the helm on that, and we just
Sure.
kind of come in after the fact. And I mean, it's his band, but we're always happy to come in and tweak and offer advice and this and that. But uh, it's great. There's a lot of great things on the horizon. It's continuing to grow. It's tough, and sometimes he can get discouraged. But I remind him, I'm like, look at everything that
Yeah.
you have done compared to previous iterations of bands you've been in the past and everything. You've never come this far as you have before. You should be very proud of yourself. You're a
Mhm.
hardworking guy. You're a kind-hearted guy, and show a little bit more love to yourself for everything you've done. And yeah, he really is. I mean, I love his company. I love everything we've done together, and I plan to continue working with him as long as he'll have me.
Right on, man.
And yeah, I guess to get back to the
Yeah,
first question,
Pretty Boy Floyd. Yeah,
yes. So it was Christian Shields, it was Pretty Boy Floyd, it was Trickster, it was Enough's Enough. We were doing that big old tour together
yeah,
last year, right around this time, March to April.
yeah,
And it was a lot of fun. And we had a good time. And most notably of all, because I love all the other bands. I mean, the Trickster guys and Chip and all of his bandmates and everything.
yeah,
Totally great dudes. Love them. I really hit it off well with the Pretty Boy Floyd guys. We just connected like that.
yeah,
Steve Summers and at the time, Dizzy and Lonnie and Chris.
yeah.
And we were just like having the time of our lives out there. And and then there was a break in the tour, and then some things came up, and Lonnie wasn't able to finish the rest of the tour.
Okay.
Dizzy wasn't able to continue being a member anymore. Um, so he brought in a filler for one show. We were in Salt Lake City. He brought in on bass Johnny Lightfoot, who famously has been in Air Supply
Oh, cool.
before, which was so cool to meet
Yeah,
that guy. I mean, that's a band I love if we're going on the softer side, but
yeah. Me too.
totally.
Yeah.
Uh, and then he brought in he brought in Alex Hart, who is one of the guitarists for Jeff Tate,
Okay. Okay.
and he was brought in to finish the remainder of the tour. But unfortunately, and I didn't know this until we were getting towards the end of the tour, he couldn't do the last show.
Okay.
And Steve was ready to just say, "Hey, you know what? Good enough. I just won't do the last show. No
Yeah.
big deal." So first show in Salt Lake City goes by, goes great. Second show, I forgot where we are. He brings in his former bandmate Dietrich Thrall, who plays with Lords of Acid and all these other incredible bands. He's played with George Lynch in the past. Excellent bassist. Still the bassist in Pretty Boy Floyd today, too.
Okay.
Great dude. So we get to, I think it's a night or two before the final show, and I catch wind that Alex is leaving before the tour's over.
Mm.
And I hear the drummer at the time, Chris. This is before Matt joined the band.
Yeah.
Uh, he's he's talking to Marshall. He's like, "Do you think you could learn the songs? Would you mind filling in for the last show so we can have a last show?" And Marshall wasn't totally feeling it. He's got a lot of stress on his
Yeah.
hands already. He's handling lead guitar for Christian Shields. It's a long tour. It's tiring.
Yeah.
And me also being a guitarist, I heard that and I went to Marshall and I'm like, I'll do it. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And so he was totally cool with that. And I went to Steve Summers and I said, "Hey, I'm totally happy to do my best and try to learn at least one set's worth of your music in what ended up being one night.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it was very tough.
Yeah.
Uh, to fill in so you can have a show so you're not just sitting there with your hands in your pockets."
Right.
And he was very grateful for that, and we already became kind of buddies at the time. So I was sitting there cramming. I had Marshall's guitar because I just brought my bass on that tour,
Yeah.
and I'm in the stairwell of this hotel and just
Man.
cramming all night. I don't think I got maybe more than an hour of sleep that night.
Yeah.
And we show up to the last venue, and I wish to God I could have told you right now that I crushed it, but it kind of sucked.
Oh man. Yeah.
but but I got about half the songs
Okay.
down and pretty good,
Okay.
and the rest were like kind of okay. But he was really appreciative of me.
Yeah.
And being in between guitarists, there was a few festivals a couple months after that, and he called me and he said, "Hey, you know what? You've had more time now. Are you comfortable with the material?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm comfortable with it." "Hey, can you please fill in? I'm just waiting until my new permanent lead guitarist can join the band."
Okay.
he's got other obligations or something like that. It was or he was vetting someone. I don't remember exactly, but I played the festivals, did the first one. It went great. I
Yeah.
mean, I was just like loving it up there. I was a little nervous at first for like the first two songs just because I'd never played to a crowd of that size.
Right, right. Yeah.
Uh, oh man.
Yeah, those
But
80s festivals can draw like huge
oh my
numbers, man.
God,
Yeah.
it's so great.
Yeah.
But he came up to me in the middle of a solo and he just whispers in my ear, he's like, you're doing great. And it boosted my confidence. Second festival filled in. It went great. We're laughing backstage. We're drinking. We're eating food. We're kind of making jokes with each other, reminiscing about the last tour. And he's just like, why am I even considering anybody else? Do you want to join the band? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, let me think for a sec. Yes.
Right. That's awesome. Man. And
And so that's kind of how it went.
nice. And Pretty Boy Floyd is really busy. Like those guys are, it seems like they're filling in slots everywhere, man. So
Totally.
what is
Oh
that
my.
like to like, I mean, you're on a plane, like flying all over the country. Like how much has your life changed
A
since joining Pretty
lot.
Boy Floyd, man?
The tail end, the second half of 2025,
Yeah.
I was away from home more than I was at home.
Right. Right.
And it was so much fun. And luckily, we've had a little break here, a little breather.
Yeah.
We're kicking off again soon. We've got some Texas shows coming up, Florida. I think later towards the end of the year, some more, maybe going back to Europe again.
Right. Right.
Waits to be seen. But oh my God, just it was the biggest being thrown into the deep end that
Right.
I've ever had before. But as tiring as it was, I don't have even a tiny bit of room to complain because that is sort of the
That's the job, right?
it's the job and it's also the dream come true because
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to always before I even played an instrument, I remember being in elementary and middle school and thinking, man, how cool would it be to jump around with a guitar on stage and people
Yeah.
looking at me? And I'm like, ah, pipe dream. It's not gonna happen. But
Man.
fun to think and then actually doing it every other the tiring travel, the communication, the what loading the gear,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because for that hour or whatever that you're on stage, it makes every other single part of it worth it by a long shot.
Yeah, man.
It's a
So
blast.
so you talked about Europe with Pretty Boy Floyd and you're gonna go back there. Um and then we've also in the fall you got the European thing with Christian coming up. What was it like to go and play? Have you ever been out of the country before, like to Europe and things like that? What was it like to go over there and experience that? And
Yeah.
what and projecting it forward a little bit, like you're going over there with Christian Shields soon, your primary band, like just talk a little bit about all of that, like the emotions, the
Of
package of
course.
it all, like yeah.
Well, it was really interesting. I've been out of the country many times before, but never to Europe,
Okay.
only to like Central America, South America, Caribbean, Pacific Islands, stuff like that.
Okay.
Kind of on the Western Hemisphere. So going over to Europe, I didn't really know what to expect. I figured, westernized countries, they're probably going to be the same and everything. There
Yeah.
was a few adjustments to be made, but I really enjoyed it. It wasn't too much of a lifestyle change. Certainly less of a lifestyle change than going to Dominica or Ecuador or any places
Sure.
like that, which are
Sure.
totally, I love those places, but man, they are totally like going back in time. But
Yeah.
Europe was great. The people were very receptive. And I think the most surprising thing to me was the demographic, oh, excuse me, the demographic on average was like the median age was much younger
Okay.
coming out to the rock
Interesting.
shows. And I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the culture. Maybe 80s rock has retained a presence out there a little bit
Sure.
stronger. But like, I mean, take Blue Note, for example.
Yeah, everyone was my age.
Totally, on average, it was like maybe 30 something to 60 something and in
Yeah, yeah,
between.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's totally cool. It's what you'd expect, right? I mean,
Right.
that's when the music came out, is during the childhood of people in your demographic.
Yeah, for sure.
But we went to Europe, and even the first show we did in Belfast, I see all of these young ladies, and they were even younger than I thought they were. Like I talked to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm 19, I'm 20," and I'm like, "Are you kidding
Wow.
me?
Okay.
How the
Okay.
hell have you heard of
Yeah.
any of this?" Not just because, I mean, out here, the US, growing up, of course, you're going to hear Guns N' Roses on the radio or whatever. But
Right.
for a young person from a non American country, or, outside of America,
Yeah, sure.
to know and to love a band like Pretty Boy Floyd, what?
Right. Right. Right.
Where does
Right.
that come from? I don't know, but it was super cool. And then we were in Scotland, and
Mm.
this young man, great guitarist, the blonde hair and the cool Motley Crue look and everything.
Yeah.
16, 17 years old. I really don't know how they discovered it, but I mean, it wasn't an uncommon sight compared
That's
to in the
crazy.
US. So I think Europe it might lead the way for the rock revival, because I see it out here too. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure you've seen it. You go out to a store and you see this young, high school gal, and she's wearing a Def Leppard shirt or something like
Sure.
that.
Sure. Sure.
So
Poison seems to be the big one.
that's
Lots of
it.
people.
Yeah.
Lots of people are wearing poison shirts. So.
Very it's I feel like people are more receptive to this stuff that has some sort of pop element to it.
Yeah. Sure.
So
Sure.
I think that's awesome. I mean, if that's what it takes to kind of bring
Yeah.
rock back into the limelight, then so be it.
Yeah. I was definitely more into the like my favorite band in high school was Bang Tango.
Oh,
You know.
nice.
Yeah. So I was definitely more into like the funk and the bluesy Junkyard and Bang Tango and bands like that. Um, But hey, yeah, if you're listening to rock music in 2026, that's awesome. So whatever it
Totally.
takes, you know. Um,
Definitely.
yeah,
Even if it's slightly different, I mean, rock's evolved
yeah,
constantly over the years, but if it comes back in some form as sort of the like main pop style of music,
yeah, that'd be
I,
awesome.
that would be amazing, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's some great bands. Like there's a band called the Karma Effect. They play like really good like hard rock. Like it just kicks ass, man. I mean,
Good stuff.
they're out there, man. Hopefully, and you guys, you know. So hopefully,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Hopefully, people keep on looking for it and finding it. And I know Scandinavia has been trying for a long time, man.
Oh my God.
Those guys over there, man, it never left the 80s for them, like it seems like. But
Never. I mean, between the rock and the metal and the
yeah,
black metal and everything in between, you just can't get enough of it.
yeah,
You brought back up Us again, Christian Shields
yeah,
and all that.
yeah, absolutely.
Christian has a line that I really like, and he's totally right. And I think it really kind of leads the way for a lot of these live shows. Is he says, people listen with their eyes.
Yeah,
And I know what he means by that, because you could be the best band in the world, but if you're sitting there looking at your shoes,
yeah,
uh, why didn't you just stay at home and listen to Spotify?
yeah, yeah, man.
But if you're going out to a show, I feel like it's much more rewarding if you see an act that is moving, that is doing things, that is trying to grab your attention, and in some way or another interacting with you. Because
Yeah,
when I go to a show, I mean the music's awesome, but I'll be honest, like a lot of people, I go out because I feel like making sort of a social connection, whether it's with other people at the venue or, the band itself. It's nice and it feels more rewarding. Like, hey, my time meant something. I came out, I saw these guys perform. They put on a fun show. They had some good songs. No, they didn't hit every single note
Right.
perfectly,
Right.
but they took the time to come out and hang out afterwards, and I feel like I really got my money's worth.
Yeah,
And I think that's incredibly important.
for sure, man. So I took a buddy of mine to his first ever concert. He was actually at the Blue Note show with me too. Um,
Cool.
and it was Dog Star. And the whole draw, nothing against those guys, because I mean they're great. They play their songs, they know their crowd, but
Is that the Keanu
Keanu
Reeves band?
Reeves, that was the draw. Because
Oh
they
yeah.
literally just like played the songs and got off the stage.
Oh,
Place was
okay.
packed though. I mean, it was like 600 people there probably in like a club. So, but
Awesome.
uh, but I was like, man, we gotta do something else. The next show I took him to was G Love, and I've seen G Love more than any other national act, and his shows are phenomenal, dude. So it's like a whole different level, from the first one to the next one. So, and absolutely nothing against Dogstar. Like they sounded great, but clearly they know that guy over there in the corner with his head down playing bass is
Oh
why
yeah.
people are coming out. Um, but
That's
but yeah,
if I recall correctly, that's the Keanu
yeah,
Reeves
that's Keanu
band.
Reeves. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves. Yeah,
I remember. I've listened to a little bit of his stuff, and it's cool. It's unique and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. It's 90s alt rock. Like
Oh yeah.
but yeah, and they sounded great, but they just didn't really. There was no show. It was just these
Right.
guys playing their songs, and then next we went and saw G Love, and the guy is in his 50s, and he's up, just jamming out. Like, so it's a
Totally.
completely different situation, man. But
Day day and night for sure.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm sure you felt much more energized and especially
absolutely.
your friend, I'd imagine too, who doesn't really go to concerts.
Right. Yeah, it was like his first concert, and he was like, "Well, that was cool. We should do some more of this." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, we'll go to some more, and you'll get more energy out of it." Uh,
Good.
and he did. We ended up going to a bunch of shows last year. So, um,
Excellent.
but yeah, man. So you are permanently in Pretty Boy Floyd. You've got Midnight Maniac. You've got Christian Shields. I know. I talked to Christian, and he was saying that his plan is to release, digital singles and stuff like that, not to really do another physical album. Pretty Boy Floyd is a touring unit more than anything else. Um, is Midnight Maniac ever going to put out a CD, or do you have sort of the same mindset of just digital stuff and putting it out when it's made and when it's ready?
We are going to put out an album.
Awesome.
However, Marshall and I are approaching this from a mindset where we're continuing to keep at it with writing and creating the songs and everything, but we're in no rush at all.
Sure.
The only thing we care, and we're on this, I mean, this was the most important for us going into this, and this is why we work together.
Yeah.
The mindset going into Midnight Maniac was we want to create music that we are wholly confident that we would want to go back and listen to again and again and again, regardless if we released it or not. We want to make songs that we would want to listen to. Kind of like, man, what could come on the radio right now that I wouldn't want to turn away from?
Right
And
on.
so, in a sense, we're pretty picky. We're not so picky to the point of, every single little detail's got to be perfect, but it has to hit you in just the right way. And it has to have all those little elements and change ups that just kind of, for lack of a better word, tickle us
Yeah.
that we want to just keep going back and it's a big undertaking, so our songs take quite a while
Yeah. Yeah.
to get to the point of our satisfaction. And so it does take a while. And Marshall's incredibly busy,
Right. Sure.
quite spread thin as well. So we get together as often as we can, but we're hoping towards the end of this year or first half of next year, start doing some live shows with
Oh, hell yeah.
some of the venues we've connected with. Uh, and then, yeah, absolutely. To get back to your original thing, we would like to put out a full album. It's just
Awesome.
gonna take a while, is all. I would
Awesome.
not expect it in 2026.
Yeah, right
2027.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, so just this is just me being kind of ridiculous, but imagine like if you did, Christian Shields, Pretty Boy Floyd, Midnight Maniac, King Cherry, um whatever band Rom is playing drums in, like all
Mega
one.
tour.
Yeah, just you know just all
Oh my
one
God,
tour.
that'd be
You'd be
incredible.
tired.
And we've made we've made jokes about that before.
Yeah.
Me and Christian and Rom and we love to kind of egg each other on and like make little jokes and prod, and we know what kind of upsets each other, so we'll poke at that. But
Right.
one one that gets under Christian's nerves is because I know it's probably not ever going to happen, but
Yeah.
I go, man, Christian, hey, what's the set list going to be when you're opening for me and Marshall next?
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like I see some of Christian's posts every once in a while where he gets down. And I mean, at this point, he is a national artist, and I hope that he remembers that,
Totally.
Um, he's accomplished a lot. You've accomplished a lot. I mean,
Thank you.
the collective as, the whole band as musicians, you guys have all, Rom is another guy who, I mean, it seems like he's playing drums every single freaking night, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so it's
Rom
awesome.
was Rom told, and he's told all of us this story, but to
Yeah.
sum it all up, he was, when he came to the US, he was determined to make drumming his career, and he's made every aspect of his life into that. And he will take anything from a show with a small band to a show with a massive band touring, the world, and
Right.
everything in between if he can have it and he keeps his commitments. And if hell ever freezes over and he's unable to keep a commitment, he finds a replacement. And he is really just a total pro. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's really something to be admired. And I've sort of framed myself that way too, where
Yeah.
if I make a commitment, I will make absolutely sure I can fulfill it. And if I can't, I'll find a replacement. But I learned that from him, and it just made sense. He's a really top-notch guy, super pro.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Uh, can drum in so many different styles too, man. I
Yeah.
never know what to expect when I click on one of his links, dude. It's
Did
like
you know he used to play also in country bands?
I did not, but I mean, I
Yeah.
believe it. You know, it's
Hey,
crazy, man.
they
Yeah,
pay a lot better than rock bands, that's
I'm
for sure.
sure. Yeah. Hey, no, man. I honestly love '70s and '80s country music.
Totally.
And stuff that sounds like '70s and '80s country music. Like I love that
Absolutely.
stuff. So um, but yeah, man. I think we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Is there anything in the future that you want to talk about? Where can people find you? All that kind of stuff. Floor
Absolutely.
is yours.
You got my main website, jakeallardmusic.com. You've got me on social media under Jake Curtis Allard, Facebook, Instagram, once in a while, TikTok, if I have a video. Um, you can look us up on Spotify, Midnight Maniac. Go check it out. Listen, we're on YouTube, every other music platform there is. Of course, Pretty Boy Floyd has been around forever on everything, Spotify, YouTube, etc. Christian Shields, go check out our last music video that we recorded in New York for Fall Like Rain. There it is. I love
Yeah,
that
man.
shirt. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Right on.
And yeah, check us out on social media. Check out Christian's page, Marshall's page, Steve Summers' page. Figure out where we're playing soon near you. And I really hope I can meet you soon. My biggest thing is when a show's over, I love to come out and just hang out with all of my new friends who just came to see us because I don't have fans, I just have friends.
Right on, man. Right on. All right. So yeah, Jake, thank you so much for doing this. We've been talking about it for a while. I'm happy that we finally got it to
Absolutely.
happen, man.
Thank
This
you
is good,
so much, man. Dude, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate it all. It's so good
of
to talk to you face to face again, and I can't wait to be back out there. Hey, next time I do a show in your neck of the woods, let's get in touch. I'll guest list you.
Yeah, I'll be there, brother.
Awesome. Perfect.
Definitely. And I want to thank everybody who has been patient for the last few weeks while we've reorganized the structure here at MEE. I want to thank Nate Walden, who is now producing the show. He has never done this before, so he just hopped in, feet first. I want to thank Tyler Martin for the commitment that he made to the show for the last almost 3 years. Great dude, man. And hopefully someday he comes back. If he doesn't, though, I appreciate everything that he did for us, helping launch this thing and keeping it going. Uh, yeah, man, we got a interview later on today that will come next week with Kyle Biba from Brain Tenna, awesome drummer from Chicago. That's going to be fun. And that's all we've got lined up for now because we've had a hiatus, but I'm going to be contacting people. We'll get some more shows up. We're back to weekly shows and ready to rock the house. Anyway, thank you so much, Jake. I am Keith. Thank you to everyone out there. And we'll see you next week with more Most Excellent Entertainment.